to believe like we can just finish behind Ivory Coast, then take our luck of one of the second best teams. But since we started our tournament with 2 defeats, especially the one against Djibouti and then the humiliation against Ivory Coast, I was thinking it's all over. But when Jonathan McKinsey came in, for me, we all know it is going to be a tall order. Gambia winning these 2 matches.
It's gonna be difficult.
But if you weigh these 2 matches, which one is at least will be kind of easier for the Gambia to win will be that of against the Harambee Stars of Kenya. And now that in fact, we had an opportunity to win that game because at some point we are 2 up while we even missed a penalty before that incident. But again, all of a sudden, things went sour, upside down for the Gambia 2-all. Musa Barrow came in, bam, 3-2, and then just a moment of lack of concentration cost us 3-3. It was a bad result to take anyway. In a normal day, I would have said the Gambia did very well. But again, leading 2-0 and then, just seconds from taking the victory and you drew, for me, it is a 2-point drop.
Okay. Yes, but one may say that Gambia could have win that game because, as you said, we have already, get 2 ahead of them. Unfortunately, things turn around, and that's football for you. Football is something very, very critical. Sometimes you may lead and you think that at the end of the day you will win, things will turn out. But what do you think exactly, Mr. Sonko, went wrong for us on that day?
For me, I have been saying this: the tactical awareness of Gambian players is a problem. Even if you watch our league, the way teams play when they scored, the way teams, when they concede, how they manage games is always very difficult. So I think that was the problem.
Okay.
Because at some point they were just over ambitious. When you are 2 up, you don't go 2-2 with teams. Never. When you win 2-1 is 3 points. And at that point, the Gambia, what we needed was the 3 point to boost our chances of qualifying or to boost our chances of at least finishing behind Ivory Coast. At least to revive our chances.
Exactly.
So when you are 2 up, the best you could do is hold the ball, pass, and frustrate your opponent. So there will be time when they will at least be open, and then you hit them on counter or on quick passes. And at that particular time, when we are 2 up, we have that players. Our midfield was composing of Mahmoudou Bajo, a very good player who can play the ball, and then Abubakar Bari, we know how good he is,
Yes.
and Musa Barrow. So maybe at some point, the coaches too, I would blame them. They could have also substituted only one forward player and bring in a midfielder to consolidate our lead.
Exactly.
But instead of that, they were going still 2-2.
Okay.
Then the Harambee Stars broke, with a counter. Moduland Giant appears from nowhere with a clumsy foul. Some might say, it is a light tackle, but again, you don't do that. You can't be behind, behind the striker in the box. You try to win the ball.
Those type of mistakes are not
Those
allowed.
type of mistakes, because any tackle he will fall down, try to convince the referee is a penalty, and then at 2 up,
That's true.
he did that. The referee did not hesitate. Penalty, they pull one back, and all of a sudden, Bajaba, they could have closed him. Nobody closed him, and he scored a fantastic goal. He still score. In fact, look at how they score us. In any team with people with a very good tactical know-how, with very good tactical awareness, would have defended that goal. But instead of defending,
can we say the defense were sleeping, likes of Umar? Because looking at that equalizer was just horrible. Within the 18 yards, and we have almost 3-4 Gambian players within that player, and he happened to get that ball and put it at the back of the net. Would you blame the defenders?
It is not only the defenders. It's a team as a unit. Because at that point, any team, even if you are Real Madrid or Barcelona, we would have defended that goal with your life. Already the skies were there, the signs were there. These people, they can always come back. But you scored 2 goals where you had a 2-goal cruising. They equalized 2-2. You scored 3-2. In fact, the referee added 6 minutes, 5 minutes. We are playing the last seconds of the game. Every Gambian player could have been in the box to try to defend that ball.
To the best of his ability.
But some of the players were waiting. Okay, when they take the long throw, when it doesn't work, then we'll hit them on counters.
Mm-hmm.
So they were waiting on counter. The counter never came. Instead, an equalizer 3-3
That
to
was
restore
too.
parity.
That was too bad.
That was too bad.
That was too bad. Yes, let's talk about John McKesson. I think sometimes his tactical when you come to the game, looking at the midfield, you have Ali Fadera, Mahmoud Bay, as you said earlier. These are very good players, but looking at them on that day, we suffer in the center because most of these goals came from the center. And when they do, looking at the penalty, you look at the penalty itself from the center circle direct to a very very bad goal for Gambia.
Well, for me, I think we need Ibu Adams in the midfield.
Exactly.
I recognize the talent of Abubakar and then Mahmoud Bajo.
Mm-hmm.
These are very, very good players that could even start for the Gambia. And again, I know one of the reasons also he's playing these two boys is because they are very, very good on the ball. Yes, Ibu Adam is a very good fighter, can win you balls, can score occasional goals. A box-to-box midfielder, he will never get, out of energy. His batteries are always charged to full capacity. But again, when it's time of when in terms of distribution, he's not as good as Mahmoud Bajo and that of Abubakar Bari. And then when you look at Musa too with this present team, I think Musa, when he was developing here in the Gambia playing for Hawks, his best position was just behind the strikers, where he can play the penetrative passes and where if he had a chance, just like the Gambia's second goal, first goal, he can kick, and score because he have the foot power and the technique to beat any goalkeeper on his day, in the world. But again, you do that, you give Musa his best position, but again, it was against the detriment of the whole team. For me, he could have played Musa in the left wing and Yankuba on the right, Aliso as a striker, and then play at least one of the combative midfielders, either Ebrima Dabo or I would even prefer Ibu Adam. So when you do that, Ibu will no doubt protect the defense, and occasionally he can go forward, and he's very good in recovering balls. So that would have helped the team. But again, coaches, I think he's one of the luckiest Gambian coaches. He has a lot of problems, at this problems in terms of selection. At this time also, imagine also benching Alu Fadera, who had 20 starts in a row for Como in this, Italian Serie A. So when you look at all those factors and the kind of fixtures he played, it suits both Yankuba and that of Aliu. But because both Yankuba and Aliu are playing as wing backs for their clubs.
Exactly.
Sometimes
they are performing well
they are performing well. Sometimes Cesc Fabregas, the coach of Como, will play 3-5-2, and then Aliu Fadera will be on the left side. And we see in England, Brighton will play the same formation, and Yankuba sometimes or most of the time will be on the right side.
Exactly.
So they are just used to that. But again, knowing that we don't have the defenders, we don't have defenders with minutes, because all our defenders who played that day where they are struggling for minutes.
Especially Omar Colley.
They are struggling for minutes.
Omar Colley is not playing.
Omar Colley is not playing well. Some for him, I think injury also is part of it. He went to Pau, a very big team, one of the biggest teams in Greece. And then he's in and out of the team. But occasionally when he played, he did well. And then Maud Lion guy, for me, he's not a bad defender, but you understand that their team, they are just from pre-season. The season just started. And then for Sirif Sinyan, he's a top defender. We all know that. But he missed playing for the Gambia for over the years. And again, he moved to a new team, and he's not having the minutes.
He's not familiar with the team as a
he's not having the minutes. So when you want to pile these players up to play a new formation, for me, that's where we get it wrong. And then, it's just difficult. But let's hope. For me, I think having a draw is not so bad. What makes it bad is we could have won the game. We have the chance. The opportunities were there.
Can one say you are disappointed with the result on that very day?
Yeah. On a normal day, if the Gambia drew against Kenya, I would have said, okay, they are ahead of us, even though that we have better players now. We are also climbing up. But again, this is a chance for us to revive. And the opportunities were there. Even at 2-0, we could have scored more.
Exactly.
Even at 3-2, we had a chance. Remember the Musabaro chance where, it was 5 against 2, and he decided to kick and miss. Remember the Abdullah Cisse's chance. He could have at least hold his bet for a second, but yeah, on the turn hit the goalkeeper safe. So that's what makes me disappointed about the whole issue.
Okay.
But in any other day, if the Gambia drew against Kenya, for me, I think some of the fans are just over ambitious. But
Okay.
Kenya too is a very very good. And if you look at the history of Kenya too,
Mm-hmm.
over the years they have drawn a whole lot of matches.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not happy scoring almost the last kick of the game. I
Yeah.
think that's what
Definitely.
even make them so excited.
At this setup, Mr. Sonko, can we say that we miss Ablai Jamano in this setup?
For me, not necessarily so. He has been one of our best players, if not the best player in the last 3 years. He's a top talent player. In fact, if he was there, it would be another selection headache for the coach. Either who to play behind the strikers, will it be Musa Barrow or Ablai? And then we know Musa will have to play. And sometimes, no matter how difficult it is, Ablai too has to play.
As the play. They
So
are very,
that
very
is
good
that is
players.
in fact one of the reasons why sometimes Jonathan will even attempt to play Musa as an 8 because Ablai have to play, Musa have to play.
Exactly.
And then in this current team, I think Alu for me is a very good player. Fadera. What he has to change is his decision making, even at international stage. He hardly kick to score. He always looking for the player he will pass. He always hesitates. But if he develop that side of the game, with him, he's going to be a top player. In fact, nowadays since Como signed Hassan Jao, the new Senegalese boy, he has not been playing because one, he got an unfortunate red card. That's Fadera. Then that culminated with Hassan coming in, and Hassan is playing and scoring, and virtually they are playing a similar role. In fact, it's Hassan who take his place in the team. For me, when you look at the two, he's more talented, but Hassan sacrificed a lot trying to kick, trying to assist. But for
also scoring.
For Aliu, he's all about a team player. Defend well, attack well, coordinate the attack. But he never put himself, in a position where he will score.
Then he need to improve on that area.
He need to improve. Even in the Gambia, how many times you'll have glorious chances, but he's looking for the player he will pass or kick. I think that has been the problem. If not, he's a fantastic player.
Yes, very well there, Mr. Sonko. And I think now we have to look into tomorrow's game, which is also very important. As you said in the beginning of the program, that Ivory Coast right now, they are giants when it comes to Africa because they are the champions. And playing the champions is always difficult. What are we expecting?
Well, for me, I think it will be a different ball game. The coach was just furious about how we drew against Kenya. In fact, at some point, he ran out of words to describe what happened. But again, Cote d'Ivoire, the last time we played, they humiliated us. And now we are playing against them. They are not unbeatable. And over the years, if you check the Gambian team too, it seems like they are better off playing against teams that are well placed there in the continent. Imagine our last matches against teams like Tunisia. We beat them. We beat them.
And
but
they are also very good.
Ivory Coast is a different ball game. Why? Because Cote d'Ivoire since 2017 they have not lost any World Cup qualifier or African qualifier at home. So we playing against Ivory Coast. It's a big opportunity for the players to prove themselves. Yes, now they can rub shoulders with the continent's big boys. And we cannot go toe to toe with Ivory Coast just like how we did against Kenya. If we do that, there will be another humiliation. But again, we can be so combative and trying to hit them on counter. I think we can be very, very successful on that. In the team, we have people who are very fast, very clinical. For instance, we have Yankuba Minte, who had, over the years, had a lot of goals in his football. And we have people like Jibril Silla, we have people like Alassane Irayan. All these players are very fast. And we have top strikers. Also, for me, a striker who is competing with
absolutely
Victor,
great this time.
Victor Osimhen. Think he's great. When you go to the Turkish league, you name Ali, his name will ring a bell in everybody's mind because he's constantly scoring goals in that league.
Especially week in, week
whether
out.
It is for Ankoraku or the new team his reserves for,
Rizesoa.
he's just scoring goals. So for me, we have what it takes to collect a result against Ivory Coast, but it will be so much difficult. If you want to collect, points or a point or point against Ivory Coast, every other infield player, including the coaching staff, has to sacrifice. Because if not, we are not matching them 2-2. So what all we can do is to have that technical awareness, to play a better system, and then hit them on the counters, or occasionally where we can build and get out of our court. Let's make the uses of our opportunities.
Coming to tomorrow game, what type of tactic do you expect from the coach to do to make sure at least we get that point we are all yearning for?
Well, the coach already said it. There are two different games. Even in the Gambia, he said it. The tactics against Kenya wouldn't be the same as
With
the tactics against
Ivory
Cote
Coast.
d'Ivoire, because it will be suicidal to play the kind of fixtures we played. The Gambia, we have a talented squad, but one thing we have to recognize too. We over the years is our defenders, their performance are going a bit down, including even the captain Umar.
Yeah.
He's not as convincing as before, but against age also is crippling. And then we are having breakthrough players in midfield, in forward areas, but not in defenses.
Okay.
Check the last time the Gambia transfer a top defender. It has been a while. I think since Cisse,
Yeah.
Was given an opportunity to play for the national team. He started and then he went to Europe. You hardly see any Gambian young player, a defender, who is scouted to go to. So that's the problem. And we have in midfielders, we have in strikers. So if we can play as a unit, if everybody in that team want to suffer, plays to suffer, we can have, because that's the only way to have a result against Ivory Coast. Everybody will suffer.
To make sure we get that the result.
We cannot just enjoy the ball. With or without the ball, everybody should be seen running. Okay. That is the only way that we can have a result against Ivory Coast. But if we are lazy on the pitch, they are going to destroy us again.
Talking about Ivory Coast, they have a very good side, especially Simon, who is playing with Yankuba at the same team. And we can see him, the way he is playing in the Premier League. He's doing well. And then he's a very, very fast player. So I think the Gambian defending line have to be very careful with him, with other players, the Fofana and the others.
Well, when you look at this Ivory Coast team, they have a lot of French descent. So in fact, they are not just lucky that some of their French descent are choosing to play for France instead of Ivory Coast. If not, they would have been the best team already in Africa. Yes, they are the crown holders of AFCON. They hosted it and won it. At some point in the group stages, they were not convincing, but I think having that tag as the champions, the defending champions of AFCON, always have to play a part. It motivates you to play and win.
Exactly.
So for us, it's not like we don't have nothing to lose. We have something to lose. We have to get our campaign started, and if we can get a win against Ivory Coast, I know it will be difficult, and some might even think that I'm punching above our weight. But if we can have a win against Ivory Coast, everybody will forget about.
Do you think that we can able to get the win? But it's football. Anything is
possible.
It's
not only about the saying that it is football. I think when you check what happens over the years, you will feel like yes, the Gambia can get a result against Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
Over the years, we have done very well against these top teams in Africa. Be it against Morocco, against Guinea-Conakry, against Mali, against Tunisia.
Yeah.
We have been doing very well.
Definitely.
Our problem has been against teams that rank below us.
Okay. They always give us tough time.
They always give us tough time. So we go and open, everybody is overconfident, no one want to go back to suffer for the team. That has been the problem. But when you play against top teams,
they perform.
Yeah,
they perform. They perform. Yes. Now, as you said, many will be expecting tomorrow that at least we will get a point against the champion. But it's going to be difficult, as you said earlier on. Right now, Ivory Coast, they have a very good side. To be honest with you, they have a very good side because the crop of players they have, who are definitely playing week in, week out in their respective team is just huge. So getting a point to Ivory Coast will be a very good advantage for us.
Yeah, for the Gambia getting anything, positive against Ivory Coast would be like a defeat for Ivory Coast.
Right.
That's it, because that is that is so far our journey, the journey between the two countries in terms of football.
Okay.
Cote d'Ivoire, they are former African champions, multiple African winning, Afcon winning country, and the best we could do is to reach the quarterfinals, and that was just, in 2021. So for us, we only have two appearances in the Afcon. We never even appear in the World Cup.
Yeah.
For Ivory Coast, they have been a main fixture for Africa, in the World Cup, even though recently they have not been, that successful compared to when they were having the like of Didier Zegora, Didier
Drogba, Lies, and
Drogba,
other stuff.
Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure, the Toure brothers,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But better still, they are one of the the continent's big boys. So they will be expected to win, comfortably against the Gambia. I'm sure the coach will respect the players, and then even the players will respect our team, knowing that at least we have some top
Players.
emerging talents in our team. A
Exactly.
team that has Alu Fadera,
Mhm.
it's not a
It,
it's a good team. A team that
it
have
is.
Yankuba Minde, a team that have
Musa
Musa Barrow,
Barrow.
undoubtedly one of the best players in the Saudi Pro League.
Mhm.
We have to respect that team. But again, when you weigh the two teams, you weigh their history, you weigh their investment in football and everything. Cote d'Ivoire will be very, very disappointed if they do not get maximum points against the Gambia.
Wow, that's very interesting. As you heard from Mr. Sonko, this is very interesting. But finally, before we wrap up with this program, Mr. Sonko, what are your predictions?
Well, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult to predict a win for the Gambia, but